how this one does end up turning out at the end of the map, and we'll see whether or not we are right. Having a look across at the lineup from Sydney Drop Bears, it's going to be Jordation on the Junkrat. Billa, of course, still sitting on the Sombra, and I have to suspect that Sydney Drop Bears are going to be starting off on the defense here, given that they would have gotten the choice of side.
They're like little Roombas.
NoC Predators quad tank with the Moira expected on this map, to be honest. But it does seem like Sydney Drop Bears are set up for this. They've got the high ground. They're not sitting on the point, and that's kind of going to be the weakness here of NoC Predators. They won't really be able to easily get them off that high ground. And NoC Predators are just letting Sydney Drop Bears farm them right now.
Yeah, they are. We saw Billa holding back and getting off those hacks, doing some damage with the machine pistol even, and still uncontested as we
93% on Jordation ultimate.
Wow.
He's got it. Riptire is up. Let's see if he can make this one work. No kill.
Oh, look at this. Oily's actually done some damage, and for now, the Predators turning this around, Jordan.
Yeah, they certainly are. Billa, there's really not much he can do but deny a bit of time capping here. And that's the quad tank for you. Once you get on to that point, once the brawl kind of starts, that's where it's going to be the advantage. It's actually getting to the point initially, though, that can be the problem. And I thought Jordation might be able to save them there with a massive Riptire. But, of course, all the HP there on the quad tank makes it kind of difficult sometimes to rip through them with that Riptire. But now, quad tank on the second point. Not sure how effective that is going to be, as, again, taking that high ground is going to be a bit of a nuisance for NoC Predators.
It's so much time on the clock. They had a full 7 minutes coming into this one. Onto the site they go.
Oh, that's big!
Billa! Oh,
Not
my
big enough.
goodness. Just manages to use the translocator and get back up to the top. No EMP used as of yet, I'm sure. Would love to try and hold on to it. Doesn't need it. There's the hack going through. Nope.
Yes.
Soon. Try again.
Here's the EMP now. And that's perfect timing as well. Just after 2D Socks utilizes the shield. The ultimate is completely cancelled by Billa. Again, perfect timing out from him on Sombra. Graviton Surge does come out a little bit late, I think, here from NoC. Not sure if they're going to be able to get full usage out of that one. And a fairly good defensive ultimate out from Bertlog. Does keep everyone on the Sydney Drop Bears alive. But I think if they would have picked off Billa with that hook from Grogon, NoC Predators might have been able to push that one through, at least get a couple of ticks on the board. Still, not going to happen, and Billa does get the EMP off, back up to 44% already. A good hold for Sydney Drop Bears. I guess some luck went their way, but they take advantage of it.
They do indeed. We saw him come out with that translocator EMP bomb that we've seen a couple of times now this week. Jordation ready with the tack vires. We'll see how that plays out. Quats as well. Primal Rage up and ready to go, but 3 ultimates now for the NoC Predators. We'll see what they can do. And Special Kid, I think, just waiting for this Coalescence to come out, which will make life much, much easier when they try and dive in onto this point.
Yeah, let's see what Oily can do as well with the Earth Shatter. That could be pretty critical, locking down all of these Sydney Drop Bears players. As of yet, not using it. Doesn't really seem to need it at the moment, though. We do see Jordation pop his tactical visor. Perfect timing again from Billa to get the EMP across, although Jordation's ultimate did kind of fade towards the end there, but does allow him to get the D-Mech onto the D.Va. Still the fight continues, but this looks again like it's going to be a fairly easy one for Sydney Drop Bears. The EMP just tipping the scales. It was kind of 50-50 for a moment, but Billa got the ultimate up in time. Should not have it for the next fight, though.
They can only hope so. Jordan, NoC Predators, 4:40 on the clock, 3 ultimates up against 3. That Transcendence from Bertlog could be very, very useful here on defense. But a great order coming out from Oily too could also make a difference. We really haven't seen much Reinhardt up until this matchup, have we?
No, well, I mean, it's not that strong in this meta. In the dive meta, he can't get in there and get that damage across as easily. Hacked again by Billa, so no potential of an ultimate, no potential even for the shield, and he gets dropped straight off the back of that. Good comms out from Sydney Drop Bears, good focus fire. Another fight won just off the back of a single hack. That's how strong Billa is being right now on this Sombra.
Great plays across the board. And after what was a pretty average first sight, Jordan, feels like the Drop Bears may be starting to get the better of this.
Definitely. Well, they've wasted 4 minutes so far, or 3 minutes. So
yeah, about halfway through, to be honest.
It hasn't even been really a very, very close fight for NoC Predators. Like, there was a fairly extended one, but it always felt like Sydney Drop Bears were going to be able to hold that one off with their respawns. And again, NoC Predators trying to push in through this upper high ground. Hasn't worked so far. They haven't utilized many of their ultimates, and they just really haven't had the opportunity. They just haven't had those fights. And whew, Jordation, a little bit dangerous there for him, but he gets healed up nicely. And now we've got 5 ultimates available for NoC Predators. Is that going to be enough for them to commit into it?
Attack visor ready to go. 5 is
EMP
a lot,
94.
Jordan. And as you said, that EMP is getting ready now on both sides, actually. Billa will get his ready first. And oh my goodness, Attack visor can do so much damage. But Letho up against a Transcendence even.
And also not when you have a Winston jumping in your face. Quads gets hacked there. Grogon goes and grabs a kill onto him. And we also heard the Earth Shatter out from Oily. It doesn't get much. It doesn't really achieve much, I don't feel. As Sydney Drop Bears do still manage to hold on to the point. But hopefully that gives him the opportunity to swap off. And indeed it does. The Reinhardt certainly was not working out for NoC Predators. And I'm kind of surprised that they actually hung on to it for that long. But there's always that sort of thought like, oh, I've got my ultimate. I should just use my ultimate before I swap.
Yeah. It's like, well,
cost them about 3 or 4 minutes.
Because you see so many good Earth Shatters, and the potential there is huge. But,
but
if you can't even get into position, if you're getting hacked each and every time before you even get downstairs, that can make life very, very difficult. Billa
another pick.
Finds 2D Sock straight away, and as you take a look at the clock, 2 minutes and 15 seconds remain. Special Kid with the res. That'll definitely help, but that's one less res to work with as we go on in. Attack visor comes out, turns around, does manage to pick up NoC. Would love to find a second. Shoyo ready with the self-destruct as well. But now won't be using it. Wants to stay alive, see how long this one can last. The clock ticks down even more, Jordan.
Damn it.
What does NoC Predators even do now? You know, they've got no ultimates available. They can probably charge them up before the next fight. There's the pick out from Billa. He's not going to be able to get out, though. Grogon with a nice hack. It's a 1-for-1 trade. NoC Predators, I guess it probably doesn't favor them. They can't really push in right now. They're going to be rezzing up the Baby D.Va. Which, honestly, I'm not sure about that. I reckon you just let the D.Va respawn, have the mech. Now, Sinai has to actually wait for the mech. Sinai would be ready for this fight if she would have... well, whatever. Doesn't matter. We're going to be seeing NoC Predators push in here. Clearly has not worked out too well.
No. I guess is it maybe a little bit harder on this map as Baby D.Va to... like, you don't want to go in and feed ult charge, I guess. Like, it's not like there's an obvious cliff out there you have to, you know...
Yeah, but Baby D.Va was dead. It got rezzed.
Oh.
That's what I was saying. I was just like, the respawn was basically there anyway. Like, I don't know. I mean, it doesn't really affect too much at the end of the day. NoC Predators didn't really commit to that point too much because they didn't have the ultimates available anyway. But now, 93% on NoC, 95% for Special Kid. 2D Sox does have Transcendence as well. And it gets picked off every single time. It just seems like Sydney Drop Bears getting picks across the board. NoC Predators are not doing enough to defend their weaker targets.
Quats. Bit of damage going down for now. And yeah, it's not even they're not even the fights, Jordan. They're not even taking the fights they need to take. They're literally coming in, they're all over the shop, and they're getting picked off one by one here. And what was 7 minutes is now 20 seconds. There are so many things that you can do with 7 minutes, and apparently one of those things is not capture the second point here
not even get
on
tick.
Horizon Lunar Colony.
But
not even a single tick.
One more chance here, Ben.
One shot, Jordan.
Would you take it?
I'm spaghetti.
9 seconds on the clock. NoC Predators now deciding to start to push forward. NoC using the Dragon Blade as of yet hasn't found anything. Shoyo though does go down. Overtime is ticking. So NoC Predators have secured mission 1, which is keep themselves alive on this map. They, though, need to continue and push forward with their second mission to cap out as much as they can. They've got 1 point out. Grogon does get the EMP across. That's securing quite a lot of damage here for them. Sydney Drop Bears, the trickle is now in effect. Jordation does have a pulse bomb. Billa 99% on the EMP. Can he make something happen with this one as he enters on the point? Though the overtime is starting to tick on, and it looks like they should be able to cap. Billa, though, gets a big ultimate. Jordation, the pulse bomb gets Grogon. But it's not going to be enough. NoC Predators finally managed to cap. 0 seconds left on the clock. They make it work. Imagine if Billa would have had his EMP at the start of that fight as opposed to at the end. It could have been so much different. And Sydney Drop Bears will be so disappointed by that.
7 minutes. It actually took them probably 7 minutes and 30 seconds to get that. That is a lot of time. And I must admit, there are a few things more disappointing than holding out for so long and then losing it in overtime. So they need to get 2 points. If you're a Drop Bears fan, want them to get 2 points and do so with time to spare, and then they can just attack. And they should theoretically be able to get another point here when we go back to kick things off again. If you are a NoC Predators fan, you probably want holding out the first point's a big ask. But the better they can do, that second point is definitely possible.
I do like Arista, though, on that first point. She does keep things quite safe sitting on the first point. But typically we haven't really seen this kind of defensive setup really work against the dive comp. Like, it's picked into it quite a lot, but I kind of always feel like eventually the dive comp does get through, and it doesn't actually take them too much time. So we'll see if it's going to work out this time for NoC Predators, but of course, Sydney Drop Bears, very, very accomplished with their own dive comp. Grogan, going to need to be pretty big with the Junkrat. We saw Jordation really building up his Junkrat tire very, very quickly in the first round of this map, but it didn't really eventuate into much. Maybe Grogan can show us something a little bit better.
What do you think here, Jordan? They pick it up? Do you think they push through with good time?
Yeah, I think Sydney Drop Bears is going to get this one. I think they're probably going to push through this first point pretty quickly as well. I just feel like someone's going to get picked off because that's been a problem that's been occurring quite often for NoC Predators. Sydney Drop Bears have really been able to capitalize on the isolated players and take advantage of that.
Yeah, and it's the high ground where we're going to start off for NoC Predators on defense, leaving the point wide on open here. And that leaves Drop Bears free reign to come around the side, which it looks for now is maybe what they'll want to do. And what was potentially a high ground advantage has turned into something entirely else here. Bertlog taking a bit of damage, but for now they're back on the point, wasting a little bit of time. Sydney Drop Bears not really losing too much though.
Sydney Drop Bears just waiting for the right moment, looking for the isolated players or someone that they can dive on and capitalize on. This time we see the 2 DPS playing around the back. 2D Stocks is going to go down. That's the pick that Sydney Drop Bears needs. Grogon, though, answers back nicely. Shoyo and his mech goes down. Maybe Sydney Drop Bears not going to be able to push in as easily as I thought, though. Jordation does a lot of damage over to the Roadhog. Very, very tagged up. Is oily. No kill coming out there just yet, but Face is just doing so much damage with the Lucio. And Noz, an easy cleanup there for Jordation, despite missing the Pulse Bomb. Looks like Sydney Drop Bears have overcome that first point.
They did. They pushed through. They waited until the NoC Predators were in a position that they wanted to fight them in.
Yeah.
And to be fair, it's pretty easy to bait someone down onto the point when you almost have to come down to the point, right?
Yeah, like there was not really too much done crazily there by Sydney Drop Bears. They just waited for the timing. They got the pick. They sort of disengaged the fight just enough that allowed their respawns to come through.
Yep.
And they won on that first point fairly comfortably. Now, though, the second point, Billa does have a Dragon Blade available, but Choyo has just been demexed. So that may not be quite as easy to push into for Sydney Drop Bears as they would have hoped. Noz utilizing...
Time to get out of the dodge here if you are the Drop Bears and just try and reset. Losing both your tanks very early certainly does not help.
But Drop Bears not really committing anything into that fight, so that's fine. Grogan, though, does have the Riptide here, and that should be pretty important. Particularly coming from an angle like this, it's going to be really tough to deal with.
Billa, who can he find here on this Genji? Dragon Blade ready to go.
I'm seeing a Zenyatta that is really very, very isolated right now. Jordation saw him as well, but Special Kid good enough to survive against that one. That's going to buy more time here for NoC Predators. The Sydney Drop Bears will wait for Jordation to respawn. Again, more ultimates being built up, though, by the Drop Bears as we wait. They're at 3 now, but very close to 6. Perhaps they're just waiting for this full 6, really just commit straight in onto this fight and potentially win off the back of sheer number of ultimates utilized.
Well, without any sort of EMP to counter it, Jordan, it puts him in a very good position here.
That's a great bait.
It will. We'll manage to take him out. The rest of the team, what are they going to play out here? The Drop Bears push on in. You'll see nothing really coming out of that at all, was there? We threw away one ultimate. The Pulse Bomb did nothing.
But it's the Pulse Bomb, you know, it charges up. He's already at 17, 25%, 30%. You know, look exactly what I'm talking about.
Quicker than you can count.
Yeah, and so the Pulse Bomb, you might as well just throw it out every time you get the opportunity. I like the bait there from Special Kid, just pulling both the Winston and the Tracer in. As he got back into spawn, he was alive. Did get pretty low, though, so it's a bit risky, but now this is going to be the full commitment from Sydney Drop Bears as this sound barrier does come out for Face. Jordation finds the first pick now. Billa with the ultimate out. Nothing that you can do as a mercy against that one. And Sydney Drop Bears, this is just looking far too easy, finding picks across the board. Shoyo gets 3, and they're on the cap.
They certainly are, and that should be that. Going to get 2 ticks, looking for a third. How will the trickle go? Wants to jump out to the point. You've got that Mercy there as well, potentially for a res, but it doesn't matter. The Drop Bears 4 minutes and 1 second to get 1 tick on the first point here of Horizon Lunar Colony. If they do so, they'll be up 3-0 heading into our last map of the day. Yeah,
just nothing that anyone could really do against the Sydney Drop Bears there. Like, there was the defensive support ultimate up for the Mercy. The Valkyrie was available, but like, okay, that keeps her alive. It doesn't keep anyone else alive. You don't have the sound barrier. You don't have Transcendence. Everyone's easy picking for Sydney Drop Bears there, particularly when we see the ultimates coming out, of course, from Sydney Drop Bears. Jordation, I think he had the Pulse Bomb up in that fight, or just got it up in that fight. Biller as well. Obviously used the Dragon Blade there. So it felt really easy for Sydney Drop Bears, just because there wasn't anything that NoC Predators had to hold them off.
It's a tough ask.
It is, of course, but
this is going to be big if the NoC Predators can hold this back. I don't think it's possible, however.
That's why you don't see like Mercy and Ana as a combo.
Well, it is, and I think...
And they had it there, but it just didn't work.
I feel like if you're running your Mercy, you need something else. You need someone there.
You need the Zenyatta or the Lucio.
Correct. Yeah. It makes it tough. I'm a huge fan of both Mercy and her Res. I think Res is just so incredibly strong as an ability, but it doesn't matter if you only get 1 res out in those fights. It really doesn't help you in that situation.
Yeah, and we are going to be seeing, again, dive comp out from the Drop Bears. No surprises at all there. Very similar first point set up for NoC Predators, though they're
on the point this time.
On the point, but their roster, I suppose, is the exact same, more or less. I think NoS was playing something different, but regardless, Sydney Drop Bears easily able to position themselves around the point, but they need those picks on the point.
Looking like piranhas right now with the Sydney Drop Bears. I guess Drop Bears works too when you're up high here like Billa. Just wanting to find just that 1 pick that will get them in onto this point and do so safely. There we go. But in the meantime, Grogan's actually found 2. And this fight might be a little bit more difficult than they expected, but Jordation brings it back. Lots of work to be done, however. Who's going to respawn first?
It's definitely winnable right now for Sydney Drop Bears. Only 3 players on that point. Jordation 80% on the Pulse Bomb. If he can charge this up and get rid of 1 or 2 of those tanks, this could be absolutely huge. Let's have a look and see. NoS goes down, doesn't even actually need the Pulse Bomb there. Oily as well gets dropped by Jordation. That probably is enough here for Sydney Drop Bears to win this now as the trickle starts to come across. There's even a Doomfist involved for NoC Predators. That's how far they're delving into their strat book, trying to survive. Maybe it's not even a strat book. Maybe this is just desperation out from NoC Predators. That's going to be that, though. Sydney Drop Bears do cap it out and win map number 3.
Well, that's what happens when you have 7 minutes and end up on 0 minutes. It makes life very, very difficult. And what turned from a great first point was a pretty average second point, unfortunately, from the NoC Predators. And you know, Jordan, if they had managed to capture point 2 in reasonable time, the defense here of point 2 was okay. Yeah. It was okay.
Yeah.
But in the end, not enough to do the job.
Nope.
And obviously that means that the victory for this match goes across to the Drop Bears. We do still have 1 map remaining.
3-0 for the Sydney Drop Bears, exactly as we expected. Fairly comfortable as well, I feel. None of these maps so far have really been hugely impressive out from NoC Predators. Like, they have put up a fight. Hasn't been a complete steamroll, but it's always been pretty easy for Sydney Drop Bears to eventually secure the win when they needed to.
Yeah, I think some of the things we take away from this are perhaps that there are good individual strats that a lot of these teams have ready to go. Some good players have managed to get them onto the point, but as soon as that falls away, or as soon as the team has time to work on it, you know, they start to struggle. It just gets that little bit more difficult. So yeah. I think that's the sort of thing that over time we will improve on as a region.
Does feel as though also the NoC Predators are kind of changing up their strats quite a lot. They're going for a lot of different things. We've seen the Orisa Roadhog, we've seen Reinhardt, we've seen Quad Tank. You know, we've seen the dive comp out from them as well. Nothing really seems to be working. I like at least that they're trying different things and trying to make things work. Maybe try and catch Sydney Drop Bears off guard. But it's just showing the class of Sydney Drop Bears, they're just that cut above.
They are, certainly indeed. So, map number 4, what will it be, Elfishguy? I always vote for Junkertown. And look, once again, I get what I asked for. I think once have I been not?
I think we've had Dorado once or twice.
Maybe twice. Maybe 2 out of 7 or something ain't bad. So I'll go for that. So Junkertown it is. And to be honest, a 4-0 is definitely on the cards here for the Drop Bears. One would expect to see the Drop Bears on defense to kick things off as well. So we've seen a bit of bashing on the payload so far in these desperate situations. A little bit of that pirate ship coming out, and it's worked once, 1.5 times maybe. I don't think it's actually gotten anyone the win. No. But it's at least gotten them through to that first point.
Yeah, what I expect to actually see here out from both of these teams is probably a Widowmaker. We saw NoC and Jordation both picking up Widowmaker on the first point of Junkertown, both on defense and attack last, well, I guess this week, but earlier on this week. So that's something that I would be expecting to see. I'm hoping to see it because we didn't really get to see that Widowmaker matchup in the last game. And I think it's quite exciting to watch. And Jordation was doing pretty well on that as well. But we do have NoC on the Widowmaker. As of yet, Jordation still sitting on the Tracer. Nope, swaps over to Widowmaker. So there you go. I'm happy to see it. I like it. I hope that we're going to see some good shots out from both these Widows.
Yeah, the Widow v Widow has at times been quite interesting. So we'll see if it makes a difference here. I don't know. And obviously, if you can get a couple of picks, that's a whole respawn that your opponent needs to wait. So it's good, really good at buying your time. It's good at just trying to get a little bit of control, I suppose. Maybe it's something here that if NoC can come out of the gate real hard, might buy his team a chance to at least get this first point and get that momentum, build up their ults. We'll see. Maybe it's just going to be dead in the water straight away. Yeah, it's a pretty weird-looking defensive setup here for Sydney Drop Bears, but I can see what they're going for. Obviously, the Mercy here is just going to be damage boosting. Probably the Widowmaker for the majority of this one, but at the moment seems to be pocketing Shoyo on the Orisa. Of course, you're going to have Orisa here on the first point just to keep everybody safe. But now, NoC looking for those headshots. Billa needs to be careful, is spotted out. Decides to fall back there. No kills as of yet. Ooh, NoC has an opportunity there. Doesn't quite manage to land the shot, though. And the payload does continue forward. Great shot from NoC. That shuts down Jordation. There will be a res available if FaZe can get over there, but at the moment, FaZe is far too preoccupied with keeping everybody else alive. Yeah, it's been tough, but now when NoC pushing through, wants to try and find the Sombra, but Sombra going to get the heck out of dodge for now. NoC going to push up here. See if we can find one more behind that barrier. It's a little bit more difficult. As you said, that hack does come out. The payload gets a bit of distance, but Jordation is now back. He is back indeed, and Billa trying to put a lot of pressure onto NoC, keeping him a little bit busy. Is still alive, eventually does get dropped there, so that's another player down for Sydney Drop Bears. They're just sort of dropping players here and there. NoC again wins the 1v1 against Jordation. That should be enough now for NoC Predators to push their way on forward and cap out this first point. What do you do as Jordation now? Do you swap off? Exactly what we'll see there. So, not a bad decision, I suspect, coming out of Jordation, who has been very good on the Tracer so far this week. And just losing that 1v1 battle with NoC here, as the first point is almost taken by the NoC Predators. But, yes, you say they will try and contest. Not working out as they would have wanted it to, though, as pretty much all the kills are going the way of NoC Predators. Ultimates are all charged up as well here for the attacking side. NoC has got the Infrasight on at the moment, but everyone else has theirs available. So this should result in a fairly good streets phase for NoC Predators when you kind of think about it. Hopefully they're going to be able to utilize their ultimates to their advantage. Sydney Drop Bears still lacking quite a few. Bertlogs and Faces coming up shortly, so the supports will be okay, but Shoyo nothing there, Quats nothing there. Tank's not too much to play with for Sydney Drop Bears at this point. Yeah, if NoC can get it around this second section and do so in reasonable time, this could be good for them. EMP ready to go and is used. They all pile on top as well. We'll see Transcendence come out in the meantime. Jordation, we follow him through, not finding any kills for now. Drops around the back. EMP. Is it going to swing the side for NoC? Not really. Jordation still seems to be putting out a lot of damage. NoC Predators, yeah, they've used a few ultimates there and they haven't achieved anything. NoC does swap off onto the McCree, which is fair enough, moving into the more closer angles. The Widowmaker not going to be quite as effective. Shoyo just doing so much damage right now with the Diva. Eventually gets demeched. Self-destruct out there. Obviously just wants the mech back. It's not an impactful self-destruct, but at this kind of a point in the game, you can't be affording to be running around on the baby Diva. Yeah, That light gun is as much fun as it can be, Jordan. Probably not the best. Oily, whole hog is ready to go, but wants to find a hook, potentially up onto that Sombra. Would love to try and find that. Oh. There we go!
Billa survives. On,
wow.
Look at that tiny sliver of HP. That must have been 1 health. And, oh god, Oily's going to be disappointed with that. That was a great hook and just unfortunately not able to follow up on it. Now he's really under pressure. Does just survive by getting onto the health pack, but that only feeds some more ultimate charge over to Jordation, who's up to 80% now. Really putting pressure on the 2D stocks. This is not really working too well for NoC Predators. Jordation's been giving too much room to maneuver. Gets a double with the Pulse Bomb. Those players were being locked in the corner by Quat. Good work out from both of those 2 players on Sydney Drop Bears, and this is again going to be a 1 fight.
It certainly is, and they are eating up the time very, very well right now. And it's precisely what the Drop Bears want to be doing. Take a look at these ultimate space and Bertlog ready to go. Oily still with that whole hog, holding onto it for now. But we'll need to use it eventually. 2:15 on the clock. So much time for such a small section. I was trying to say like 3 minutes ago, if NoC can use their ultis well, they can get almost all the way around here, and they didn't even get past the start.
No, Grogan does have his ultimate here as well, though. So this could be another potential strong fight for NoC Predator. However, Noz and Sinai, well, Noz goes down, Sinai loses the mech. And Sydney Drop Bears, they just seem to be able to find picks out of nowhere. No one's really stopping Billa and Jordation having their way with NoC Predators. However, the cart has finally started to push forward.
It has indeed. We get a bit of moving going, but Oily losing that battle for now brings out the health, and oh my goodness, never mind. Jordation with the kill. Noz tries to one-on-one, but really it's not how that's going to play out. There's so many players around them, but Billa does manage to take out Sinai. We look at with the ultis, and the Drop Bears with that advantage. The payload stuck in the middle, and 1:15 on the clock. That is not very much time.
Grogan needs to get a good EMP off here. That is how we're going to see NoC Predators winning this fight. Yes, 2D stocks can keep them alive with the Transcendence, but their win condition right now is an EMP out from Grogan. There's no other way that they will win this fight. He's looking for it still. I'm not sure how many players he would have gotten with that one, but that's the EMP out. NoC Predators, are they going to be able to capitalize on it? Doesn't look like they will. Grogan has to fall back just a little bit there, and now Billa has the opportunity to get his own EMP out shortly. However, he was still hacked, does go down. Finally, we're seeing NoC Predators start to gain an advantage.
Using up a good 3 or 4 minutes here just to get to this point. Quats wants to do something with the Tesla cannon, but all he's going to do is go on down. The Divas there ready to push on out should they need to. I think they'll try and contest here. 30 seconds on the clock, plenty of time to work with. Wait to the very last second and see what they can do.
EMP, if he can get one off, you can see him coming around the back here. Let's have a look. He's trying to jump in there. There's not really many targets for him, but he does EMP off. That's Diva and Winston hit with that. Noz as well. Actually, everyone on NoC Predators, I think, got hit by that. Still, the follow-up is not really there from Sydney Drop Bears just yet. Special Kid gets the sound barrier off. That should keep everyone from NoC Predators alive and kicking. As I say, the Tracer does go down. Quads has to pop Primal Rage. Sydney Drop Bears, they seem to be making this one work.
They're doing very, very good work for now, but the overtime is ticking away.
Grogan, I think, just got an EMP off there.
They should be able to hold this out, I think. They've waited till right to the end to get onto the point, and it didn't look like the Drop Bears were able to hold. They're doing better and better, and that res is available. There we go. Noz goes down as well, and overtime fades away into nothing.
It looked like it was going to be a one fight for NoC Predators, and then it kind of swapped once Billa got the EMP off, and then kind of swapped back, and swapped back. Well, in the end, Sydney Drop Bears do come away with a fairly good defensive side. Not even 2 points capped by NoC Predators.
It was a good start. They won the 1v1 on the Widow.
Yeah.
They got some good momentum. They pushed the first point very, very well, and then struggled so hard to get around that first corner. And I don't know, I honestly thought they had the ults, they were ready to go, they seemed confident. It just didn't work out.
Yeah, it was just the big EMP out from Billa. Like, he got his off in the fight early on in the piece. Then we saw a couple of ults out from NoC Predators. Everything kind of got a little bit out of whack. And just, yeah, against Sydney Drop Bears, they seem to be really good on those second phases of these payload parts of maps. I mean, Hollywood, they held off very, very strongly on the second phase. Junkertown as well, the second phase. Let's see what kind of setup they do have on the attack now. Is Billa going to go and pick up this Widowmaker? It's typically been Jordation. I wonder if right now in the comms for Sydney Drop Bears, Billa saying, no, you can't play the Widowmaker. You got beaten twice in the 1v1 against NoC in the last round.
And his trace has been quite good, so yeah. I don't know if that's what we're going to see.
Like he's just hovering it to deny it from Jordation. Or if he actually wants to play Widow, I suspect not. We've pretty much seen him playing Sombra only. I think we should probably see Sombra out for Billa, and I wouldn't mind seeing Widowmaker again out from Jordation. I think he deserves another chance here against NoC, but who knows? Maybe Billa is actually keen to pick up the Widow. No.
Never mind.
Spoke too soon.
Never mind, Jordan. There we go.
Now Kotz has got it.
They're just trolling us. We'll have to wait and see. So, let's get this one underway. Potential for a clean 4-0 coming out from the Drop Bears. To be honest, that is what I expect to see. And Jordation out on the Widowmaker. So you wanted that last shot. Here it goes. We'll see what he can do with it. Now they're on attack.
All right. Information should be given over to both teams that there is a Widowmaker on the field. Jordation, well, that's a little bit awkward. But it wasn't on camera. It's okay. No one saw that. This is actually a pretty good point if you hit your shot. Yeah, if he hit his shot there onto the Mercy, all would have been forgiven.
2D Sox has gone down in the meantime as well, so if Jordation can find one more pick, and it looks like maybe he can, they'll push on through. Misses that one.
If anyone can find another pick here for Sydney Drop Bears, it should be the round, or the pushed one for them. Grogan does dispatch of Jordation. I think he's probably going to swap off here onto Tracer. Nope, decides to stick on the Widowmaker. Hasn't really had much of an effect. Actually, he got res, that's why. Billa does go down as well to Grogan. So Grogan is doing a good amount of work right now on that Sombra. The EMP charging up fairly quickly at 80% right now. Jordation under pressure. Will die here as well. Good hook out from Oily. Jordation's not been getting anything done on that Widowmaker, so maybe he shouldn't have had that second opportunity. I think the Trace has definitely been more effective for him today. But he will persist with it.
He will indeed. To be fair, they don't need to do too much. But again, if the Predators want to win, maybe this is the point they need to do it on. NoC, there you go. That's a good way to pick up a Widowmaker.
You can't be sitting up in a position like that when you're already on half HP, you know? You're like a beacon saying, please shoot me. Billa says, yeah, okay, I will.
EMP time, boys and girls. What can we do? Wants to use it, doesn't need it just yet. Jordation rezzed once again. But Billa has gone down in that Sombra v Sombra, and Jordation does manage to just dodge that hook even.
He's got the Infrasight on now, though, so maybe that's going to make life a little bit easier. Still, as of yet, I don't think we've actually seen a kill from Jordation in this round so far. Billa knows that his counterpart is just in front of him there on the Sombra, courtesy of the Infrasight. Here comes the EMP, though. This is going to be a big one. Everyone gets hit by that. I think bar one player on NoC Predators. Can Sydney Drop Bears come on the top of them, though? Jordation does get the kill onto NoC. And so maybe that's enough to just clean things up here for NoC Predators.
Yeah, I don't know. It felt like that EMP, even though it hit who it needed to hit, nothing really came of it. And the NoC Predators are starting to stabilize here on this point. You see the payload moving back, 1:30 on the clock. A lot of work to be done. Jordation continuing on this Widowmaker. I've just really enjoyed him on that Tracer, John. But Billa's out there. I don't know. Maybe it's just like, look, let's just see what we can do. It's tough, though. And 120, if they get held to this point, that is definitely not how I expected it to go, and certainly not how they expected it to go.
No, definitely not. Oh, Jordation's stuck. He'll be okay. He's just surfing around. But this is not fun. He does not want to be stuck in there. Can he get out?
Sure he can. He's got the grapple.
Yeah, he's out.
Got the grapple indeed. 60 seconds on the clock. Let's take a look at these ultis. Grogan ready to go with an EMP. Potential to help win a fight with that one. Holding back Invisible for now, but everyone is so split up. There you go, Translocator, EMP comes on out. Billa goes down, Quats maybe goes down as well. Both the healers, though, for the NoC Predators have been eliminated, and Jordation continues the trend.
Yeah, this is looking like a better fight for NoC Predators. Oh, no, it's not. Quats gets 2. Jordation gets another one. And Grogan, I thought maybe he might be able to turn things around with that EMP. Admittedly, it was a pretty good EMP, actually, but follow-up was not really there for NoC Predators. Too many players down already. This first point should be capped by the Drop Bears, and indeed it is.
Not much time on the clock.
No.
They have to get all the way around on this second point.
But their ultimates are all coming up, and NoC Predators, they've only got the Orisa to speak of. Everything else is quite far away. So, it's a fairly similar situation for Sydney Drop Bears going into Stage 2 as it was for NoC Predators, where they are in a position to have a really quick one with all the ultimates.
Now, just need to reiterate, I guess, Jordan, that it's also about map score here in this competition. So if you can pick up one map up against a team like the Drop Bears, that can be very, very good down the track, particularly in seedings, particularly at that lower end of your group. So they can hold these guys back. It will be very, very useful, but there is a ton of work still to be done. And the Drop Bears, well, that'll help. Nice hook coming out, and there comes the supercharger.
Yeah, let's see if NoC Predators can get some picks off the back of that. Nope, Billa just dispatches of it with the Pulse Bomb, looking for probably a little bit more than just that, but he gets the job done regardless. Bertlog opens up, though, with a pick onto the Sombra. Sydney Drop Bears, they're getting close. A minute 43 left on the clock. There's nothing available for NoC Predators right now. Not even a Pulse Bomb for Noz. 2D Socks is at 90%, needs to be 100% sure he will not get picked here. Does get the ultimate off just in time to survive, but it will only buy so much time for NoC Predators. The Sydney Drop Bears still continue their offensive. Pulse Bomb out, no pick off the back of that though. Does get some players low. Grogan is going to be taken down on that Doom Fist. Quats is doing a good amount of work on the Winston right now, and this does look like it's going to be Sydney Drop Bears continuing their push forward. Noz goes down, and it is NoC Predators under a lot of pressure right now. Sinai gets dropped. Quats doing the dance of death on the point, on the payload, and that's it. Sydney Drop Bears cap out the final map, and they win the series 4-0.
They do indeed, and Quats holding that primal rage for about a good 30 seconds there as he continued to push on through, stay alive, do the work, didn't pop it too early, and in the end, I don't even think it really mattered after all of that because they played very, very well to push that through. A pretty flimsy start there on attack though, Jordan, coming out from the Drop Bears. Yeah. If they're going to be playing some tougher teams, I don't know necessarily if they would be happy with that. Yeah, that's not going to fly against Masterminds. I know that much for sure. That's definitely going to be a cracker match when we get to that. But Sydney Drop Bears, they dispatch of another opponent 4-0. So Jam Gaming has been dinged out 4-0, and now so too is NoC Predators. It's not a terrible start for the Sydney Drop Bears to, well, I mean, it's basically the best start you could hope for, I guess. It's a pretty good start from the Drop Bears, to be fair. But, you know, there was some good moments from NoC Predators in that matchup. I mean, they definitely challenged Sydney Drop Bears. Maybe not, yeah, I don't think they necessarily deserve to get a map. I will say I do think Sydney Drop Bears deserve this 4-0. But, you know, I thought it was maybe a little bit closer than I would have expected. It definitely was, and we were saying probably a 4-0, but I didn't know how close it was going to be. Some of those maps were quite close. I guess Nepal, we started off, and it was like, oh, maybe there's something in this one. It didn't end up swinging that way, and by the end of the set, the guys from the Drop Bears looking quite convincing. But overall, 4-0 in the bag. You get the win. You get the 4 map wins as well down on the scoreboard. And when you come back and look at it at the end of the season, that is crucial. Yeah, absolutely. It looks really good right now for Sydney Drop Bears. They'll be sitting at the top of Group B. Obviously, Mastermind's yet to play. Hopefully, we get to see them tomorrow or on Wednesday, or on Tuesday, sorry. But we'll see how that sort of chase is going to go for Masterminds now, because they're kind of essentially fighting from behind. Obviously, they've got matches left to play, but there's that evolution. The pressure is there, right? 8-0 from Sydney Drop Bears.